I guess it's an interesting paradigm, if you will, and I really commend those, like yourself and others that's out here that's really putting themselves on the forefront to try to true change, to see it and to say, you know what, if I can do it, you can do it, and simply that you just took a belief in something that was higher than yourself and said, okay, hey, I need you right now. I need you. Fix it right now, and it was fixed and it was done. And now look at you, years later, still affecting change. You're being the change that you wanted to see.
Absolutely. And to add to what you were saying about people, you becoming a reflection of what people should be doing. And I think a lot of it, and I learned this the hard way. Some people think because they have challenges, and I found this out. So what if you're not where I am? You know what I mean? It's that there's resources out there, because I've ran into people and they confide and say, for example, they'll say, well, I dropped out of school, and I'm not that good at reading, or I have this problem that I can't do this. See, I don't like the excuses. That's what turns me off, because I'm like, if you know whatever it is and you have a problem with whatever it is, there is a solution. But I think what gets in the way with male and female is pride. You so prideful that you can't go where if you're having problems reading, writing, math, or whatever because of whatever, instead of you saying, okay, let me find somewhere where I can go and they can help me get to where I need to be and swallow that pride. See, pride kills people. Pride takes a lot of people to the grave. Until you know that you really want to change whatever it is, you would do whatever it takes to do it. For example, the public library have all types of resources, and they even have programs within every library in the United States of America, because I'm a writer. I have a library card, and I travel a lot. I have a library card in every state. You could go to the library and say, okay, do you have a GED program, or do you have this done? They offer tutors. They have things. But the thing is, it's not group therapy. Stop telling people what your deficiencies are. Because let me tell you something. When you go into whatever this problem you're having, the same person there has the same problem. So that's group therapy, that you all there for the same common goal. But what happens is, it's the psyche in the mind that it makes them think, well, I'm not going there, and I'm embarrassed, and I'm 40-some years old, and I got this problem, and I don't care if you're 100 years old. If you want your problem solved, there's a solution. Are you going to go to it, or are you going to die with it in your grave? I'm tired of us making excuses for our conditions. Because let me tell you something. Superman is not coming to rescue us. You got to rescue yourself. And when you rescue yourself, you can rescue somebody else. Because one thing I do know is about living. You're living now, but you're going to die. And when you die, there is no time to make up for anything. So while you're living, you got to, because every day is like playing Russian roulette. None of us know when our number is up. So while you're living and while you're breathing, just go towards whatever that goal is. And you got to get rid of the pride. And you got to get rid of all these toxic relationships, toxic people that's in your life, including family. I had to drop a lot of affiliates, a lot of family members, because you wasn't going to stop me from my destiny, and you weren't going to stop me from my purpose. And when you're purpose-driven and destiny-driven, and what makes me purpose and destiny-driven is my own testimony. Because I could have been a statistic like all my brothers that's dead, and all my little sisters that got killed, and like all my cousins that OD'd off of drugs, and all this stuff. I could have became a statistic. I made in my mind I did not want to be like that. The battle is in your own mind. What you believe, whatever you meditate on the most, it manifests itself. So if you think you dumb, blind, and stupid, and if you think it long enough, you become what you think. So that's why I learned my history, and I know I'm a queen. I know my brothers are kings. I know my place in Africa. I didn't ask to come to America. We was brought here. So if I could go back to where I came from, I would. But you brought me over here, my family, my ancestors. Right. So we're here now. So now I'm here. What you gonna do? You brought me here. So now the thing
now you don't like me.
Yes, but because you know my history, that's why you hate me. Because you know my history. We weren't allowed to read to know our history. So the number one premise is now start educating our people to know. If you know where you come from, you know where you're going. If you don't know where you came from, that's what I'm saying. All these deficiencies, fix it. It's not that complicated. Swallow the pride. Start going to the library, doing research. Go ask questions. If you really want to. If you want to die in that cesspool, go ahead. You got my pass. But for those who want to make a difference, because our children are dying every day, our communities are dying every day because nobody's stepping up. And for those who have the resources and the funds, they're writing a check, but the check is not coming to our communities. And that's what I have a problem with.
It has to trickle down into the community, as you say. But you know what? Not even trickle down. Start in the community. As you say, start within and then grow without, right? You start within and then everything else is going to start growing. It's almost like the saying they say, if your car stalls on the side of the road, right? Nobody will stop to help you if you stay in the car. But if you get out and start pushing that car, right? People stop and start help you because they see you helping yourself. Same thing about the universe. Same thing about your creator. Same thing about God. Get out and help yourself. What are you willing to do for yourself? What don't you see yourself as a valuable investment? That's where love comes in. That's where self-love, self-appreciation comes in. I know there's been years and years of things that has happened to make you not love yourself and not make you think you are great. But let us tell you tonight on Motivation Monday that you are great and you can do great things because you come from greatness, right? You were so great that they took trips across the Atlantic to come grab you. Right? Because they knew your greatness, they knew what your potential, and they knew what you can be. So don't fly lower than what you know you can be. So if you know you can do better, then go do better, right? Go do better because you have another day, you have another opportunity because you don't know when this last breath is going to be taken. So make sure that you make it count. Make every opportunity count. Just like at the free throw line, they free shots. Make them count. Make them count. And go out there and execute the best life that you have because there's a generation that's coming behind us that's expecting us to get it together eventually. Not look for nobody because if we steady looking for somebody else out there, then obviously that answer is no because they hadn't came yet because we're still asking in 2018. Let's not ask. Don't ask. You don't have to ask, right? Just go do. then everything else is going to take care of itself. Then those that you asking, they'll come asking you. They'll come to you. What's going on? How did you do this without our help? How did you do this without us? Because the word on the street that y'all can't stick together. Word on the street that y'all can't do nothing. Word on the street that y'all divided. Word on the street that y'all hate one another. So how did you pull this off?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the other thing is I think the number one problem, not only, I think we can forgive everybody else except ourselves. Until you forgive yourself for whatever mistake you made, life happens. Things happen. Sometimes you do things because of desperation. You end up doing things. I don't care if you've been incarcerated. I don't care if you had a baby out of wedlock. I don't care if you dropped out of school. I don't care whatever it is. Forgive yourself for that mistake. It was a mistake. We make mistakes all the time. It's like until you don't drown in that cesspool that your life is doomed and you gloomed and there's no hope and you just giving up. That's why people self-medicate themselves because they haven't forgiven themselves for whatever it was. And then you have that cesspool or these toxic relationships that constant remind you, you're never going to be nothing. You ain't nothing. You're going to do this. You aren't that. You got to tune out the negativity, the toxicity. You got to believe in yourself. You got to, what's that old adage say? Yeah, I fell 10 times, but I got up 100. You got to keep getting up. We gon' fall. See, with our situation when it comes to our African American community is that we were enslaved. We weren't allowed to read. We was beaten. Our women were raped. Our men were humiliated, castrated. All these things happened to us because of somebody else doing. And because of that, it was a disconnect with our culture. And when you have that type of mentally, physically, sexually, physical abuse, it's kind of hard to just bounce back. That's why I'm kind of glad I ran away, because I really thought about it. If I had not ran away, I probably would have had a house full of kids on the system, because it was the culture and the condition. But me running away, I was always out there in them streets by myself roaming. That's why I became a prey, because I was by myself. It's a lot of ungodly things happened to me. For example, I was raped. I was gang raped. It's a lot of ungodly things that happened to me out there. But those things happened to me as a kid that made me hate men and want to be a lesbian. Those things happened to me that make me hate my brothers, because those were the one who infiltrated me. Those things that happened to me, I didn't make it. I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was a kid. I'm a full-grown woman. I'm not going to hold my past to dictate my future. I forget. I didn't know these people. I've had enough fortitude to forgive somebody who annihilated me that I didn't even know. And I said that to say also to white people who annihilated us. I had to pray. It took it took longer than I anticipated. I had to forgive. Once you learn your history, it took a long time for me to forgive them for what they did to me. And when I said that, it was like I really had this bitterness in my heart. Like, I dare you. How could you have done this to my culture? How could you have done this to my ancestor? Who gave you the authority? Who gave you the right to do this to a people? And then you have these other groups of people come over here looking at us like we dumb, blind, and stupid, but you don't know the history. But let me give you a brief synopsis of the history. If you don't know, don't judge. Do your history. Because it's a message to the madness. Because trust me, everything I've accomplished and I've done, it was not easy. I was still racially profiled. I was still discriminated against. I was still going through the motions. But I worked my way through school. They didn't give me nothing. I worked in the day and I went to school at night.
Yeah.
So nobody gave me anything. But because I've accomplished so much, now you stereotyping me. Because, who told you you could read? Who gave you that authority? Because they know the truth of our history. We don't know our history because we weren't allowed to read. So in order to know where you going, you got to know where you come from. But if you don't have that premise, you don't know. Our family was self-medicating themselves with drugs and sex and all this to overcome a lot of things that was embedded in them from the masters. But who gave you the right to do human trafficking? Who gave you that right to do that to a culture? Yeah. That's what I want to know. Pride. I really do want to know that. Yeah. You didn't have that right to do that to our culture. And then you get on the idiot box and then you annihilate us like it's something we did. You did this to us. And I'm still waiting on our 40 acres and a mule. But since it's been so long, it's going to be more than 40 acres.
Yeah, I need a bit more than that. Need a little bit more than that.
But anyways, I'm diverse. But I'm just saying, I'm just keeping it 100. But see, my thing is, like I posted something the other day, nobody wants to talk about it because it's ugly. But something needs to be done about it because our children are being shot down like rabbits. And our communities are being annihilated and dilapidated.
So it's cognitive dissonance, right?
It's time for us to step it up.
It is.
It's time for us. It's a wake-up call. If y'all ain't hearing it and seeing it now, it's time. It's time. Because a lot of those bullets,